Welcome back to the Zero Weakness podcast, where we talk about how to be a better lifter, how to be a better coach, and everything in between. Make sure you subscribe and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Zero Weakness podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Establishment Coffee. Go to establishmentcoffee.com.au, use the code 025 and get 25% off your order. We are back with another episode. Henny, what are we talking about today?
Oh man, we're going to talk about a few things, CJ. But to start with, let's get the ball rolling. And what have we been up to? I like everyone's vibe and energy today. I think this is going to be a good episode.
Been great.
Look at Thomas, the boss man, smiling from ear to ear.
He's yawning and
He's got
rubbing his face.
He's got a big weekend ahead of him, and he's got a smile on today.
I'm concerned about what's happening.
No, but what have you been up to, CJ? What have you been up to? How's your training been, etc., etc.?
Yeah, training's been good. I am in a development block, so doing a lot of reps and implementing some cardio. I've signed up to the UFC gym, do a lot of boxing there.
Let's go.
Yeah, training's been really fun, just changing it up and really enjoying it.
Nice.
You went up to Brisbane on Monday and did a bunch of filming and
Yes.
media stuff.
Love going up and seeing everyone up there in Brisbane. There's heaps of, I guess just members I haven't ever met before. The new members that, I've never seen. And the vibe there is just super chill. It's seriously just like it is here. Everyone's laughing, everyone's talking smack and having just clowning around. Like, it's just so not uptight and serious. They're just all super cool, nice people. And love seeing Jamie and Lise there. They're awesome.
Just to clarify, people do train hard and take it seriously.
Yeah.
It's not a...
We take training seriously.
Not a circus up there. Just making that clear for people listening to
No, yes. They all train very hard together.
It's not Jamie and Lisa that are clowning around, is it?
Nah, then... Oh, Jamie's a clown.
I don't know if Jamie has the ability to not clown.
Yeah.
He's the man. For people listening, Jamie and Lisa are the managers and coaches up at Zero Brisbane.
Yes.
Two absolute legends.
Doing an amazing job up there.
Yeah, killing it. Tom Bras, what have you been up to? How's your training?
Training's ticking along. I had a bit of that flu thing last week, which was a bit of a kick in the guts. That was interesting. But just getting ready for Apl Nationals this weekend. Been working alongside Daniel and Bridget especially have taken the reins and organising that, and I've just been sort of advising and helping out along the way. But it's going to be a big show, and we've got a lot to do to set up for it and run it over the weekend. So looking forward to getting that done. It's pretty crazy. Like, we got 230-ish lifters. We had over 300 apply. It's a lot of lifters to churn through in 3 days. And so if you're listening to this and you are competing, actually, no, you're not going to hear it till after you're competing anyway.
No, I was actually about to ask, can we release this one tomorrow?
No.
No? Okay.
No, absolutely not. Never ask a stupid question like that again. Hopefully it's always interesting as the meet organizer. It's like running a birthday party. You see everything that you're not happy with and no one else really sees it. But at the same time, you have to appreciate the amount of organization and effort and the leaps and bounds that Bridget and Daniel have taken to make sure everyone is looked after. So I'm really looking forward to the show coming together and seeing everyone that's traveled up from interstate to compete and all the Queensland crew. It's going to be an amazing weekend.
I can't wait to meet some of the people that I've been talking to.
Yeah.
Through emails and stuff, and put some faces to names. It's going to be awesome.
For sure.
Yeah.
James Hendry, what about you? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I've just been chipping away. I am, from this weekend, 2 weeks out from the half marathon.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, my training's going awesome. I'm loving it.
Nice.
I had my hardest run so far last week.
You did 30?
No, last week was 22K, but with a 5K tempo in there, in the mix, which was fun. And then tomorrow morning I've got another hard run. But other than that, life's really good.
What's the hard run tomorrow?
Tomorrow I've got so all up it's 21K tomorrow.
So what makes it hard? Is it the distance? Like when you say a hard run, is it like 20 plus, 15 plus?
Nah, so distance is fine. You can do long, easy runs all day kind of thing.
Yeah.
But tomorrow it's like a 3K warm up, and then it's 2 sets of 7 7 kilometers with a 1K float in between.
Okay.
And then the 2 sets of 7 kilometers are meant to be at my race pace or faster.
Okay.
So they're going to be
which is pretty full on.
yeah. So it's essentially I'm peaking.
Yeah.
I'm peaking for this race.
Yep.
And what's a float?
A float's like 6 minutes per K.
Like a rest.
Yeah, so your recovery run, I'm going to float at about 6 minutes, 6:30 per K in between my sets of 7.
And the 7Ks, what's the like the game pace? What sort of time per K?
The first one I'd love to hit around, for the first one I want to be conservative. In running it's called a negative split, so you want to do your first half slower than you want to be able to empty the tank in the last half.
Yeah.
So the first one I want to be able to do between 5 and 5:10 per K, and then the second one I want to go anywhere between 4:40 and 4:50. Yeah.
So like that's 50% quicker than the floating kilometer.
Yeah.
And what's tempo?
So like it's just being able to hold a pace.
Yeah, but like when you did the 5K tempo last week?
Oh, so
what time are you doing per K there?
So the fastest kilometer I did in the 5K tempo, but the tempo kicked in at 12 kilometers.
Okay.
So you're doing 12 easy, and then all of a sudden you got 5K hard, and the fastest kilometer I did was 4:24 per K.
Oh, so tempo is quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just taking powerlifting speak. I'm thinking like tempo is slow it down and hold that pace.
Yeah, nah, it's cool. I'm learning something every session, and like I got some pretty cool people around me that are helping me. Like one of my best mates and housemate, John Brooks, he writes all my programming.
Yep.
Well, his brother used to write my programming, but Johnny's just been helping with this prep.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun. I'm loving it because it's still so new. Even though I've done it a little bit before, it's just it's a new journey, and I'm a rookie. Like I'm a student, so it's cool.
Good to be a beginner again.
Yeah, like enjoying the process this time.
Yeah.
Like what happened with my last powerlifting prep, I was so focused on the end result.
Mm-hmm.
Where now I'm just like, all right, learn to enjoy the journey.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's cool.
Nice. Bridget, what have you been up to?
I haven't been training much the past week. I've been off work for about 4 days. I went out and visited my mum and dad on the weekend, so I had my first day back training today.
Nice.
Squats, it was very hard. Yeah, very, very hard. But yeah, just same as CJ, I'm in a volume block, loving it, absolutely loving it. But yeah, I had a lovely weekend visiting my parents. I'm happy to be back where it's warm. It was about 2 degrees out there, so
yeah, geez.
Yeah, freezing cold.
Even during the day?
During the day, it would get up to maybe like 9 or 10.
Do they have a fireplace?
They do. They have a beautiful big fireplace. So yeah, we spent
Good.
all our time in there in the lounge room, and yeah, it was awesome. Nice to be back home.
How was your car's weekend? Different story.
It was interesting. I was about Mungandai, where I'm from. It's about 7 hours away, and I was about 10 k's from home, and it was getting dark. And anyone who lives in the bush knows that you shouldn't drive at nighttime. And the reason is because there's kangaroos everywhere, and you don't see them coming. And that's what happened to me. Jumped straight into my car. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah, it happened. I was talking to you about it. It
Go
happened.
look at that car later.
It's parked out in the middle.
Okay.
There, it's all taped up. But yeah, I'm getting it fixed next week. It's going to be okay.
Dang.
And for everyone wondering about the kangaroo, I think he was okay. I couldn't see him anywhere. He probably got up and hopped away. They're pretty strong.
They're tough as.
They are very tough. Yeah.
You think they'd learn, after watching all their homies
Yeah, get
Dang,
cleaned up.
probably took out a headlight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
proper.
Probably get a shock.
Yeah, I did. I got a bit complacent though, because I'm like, I haven't seen a kangaroo the whole drive. Like, it's fine, and I'm almost home, and I had like music blasting, and I was like having a great time, and then there he was. Yeah, out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh. Did you stop, or
I
did you just keep
hit the
going?
brakes and I swerved. If I had hit him head on, it would have destroyed my car and probably killed him. So, so I'm grateful for the fact that it could have been a lot worse, but it wasn't.
Oh, so you swerved before you hit him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
You saved a life.
I did. I saved a life and I saved my car.
Hey,
So, yeah.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, don't talk about killing things. It's a bit soon for that, just in case.
All right.
If you're kangaroo listening to this, Bridget sends apologies.
Hop along. All right. I'm going to try something new for this episode. All right. We're going to do our gratitudes.
Nice.
We're going to say something that we're grateful for. Just sets the trajectory for the day. It sets you on a good path. Mm-hmm. Makes you feel good. Makes you step back. Makes you realize sometimes that life isn't that bad. Cool. So we're going to start with some gratitudes. You're welcome to do 3, or if you just want, because I've kind of chucked you all on the spot here, just give us one thing you're grateful for and why. So I'm gonna do a couple today. The first thing I'm grateful for was my cup of coffee this morning. Now that I've reduced my caffeine intake significantly, I really get to enjoy that 1 cup of coffee, 1 to 2 cups. And yeah, you really make the most of it. And, you know, it's not before it wasn't something I got to enjoy because I just drunk it to fucking keep me alive because I wasn't sleeping properly. So now I get to really enjoy that cup of coffee and it's delicious. The second thing I'm grateful for is getting to talk on this podcast and call it work. That's pretty fun. Thank you, Thomas.
Yes.
Very grateful for you for setting this up.
You're welcome.
Look at this. We got beautiful mics. We got beautiful fucking backdrop, beautiful chairs, beautiful people. I'm fucking grateful for this. CJ, good job, brother, putting this all together.
Amen.
Grateful for you, Gidge, getting behind the mic, getting out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
So I'm really fucking, look at us all smiling about these gratitudes.
You're really good at it now too, Bridget. You
No,
talk way
I'm
more.
not. Really?
Yeah, you
Yeah?
do.
Oh,
You do.
good.
And so, yeah, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for work. The third thing I'm grateful for is I just want to shout out a client. He's like my little brother. You can like my little nephew, Jordan Cameron.
Yep.
His parents, Trish and Renus, are two of my best friends. But I posted a photo on Instagram this morning on the Zero Instagram of me and Geordie. And in the first photo, he's like a head shorter than me, really small. He weighed 50.8 kilos. And in the second photo, he's taller than me and he weighs 63.8 kilos. So he's
Wow.
put on 13 kilos and he's pretty solid now as well. And just watching his journey and being a part of it has been a blessing and I'm super grateful for it. Like when he started, he couldn't bench press the bar. And now he bench presses like 50 kilos quite easily. He can trap bar deadlift the same as his mum, which is crazy because she trained forever. And so he trap bar deadlifts around 120. He can deadlift with a barbell. He did 90 this morning really easily, but we haven't pushed that just because he's in season at the moment, so we don't really need to push anything. He's just gotten so much stronger, so much more confident, and I'm super grateful that we get to, you know, call this work and help people become better.
It's very special, man. Like, I mean, you met Charlie Evans. I don't know if CJ or Bridget ever even know who he is, but Charlie Evans, he was a kid. He was 13 when he signed up at PTC when it was over at Nerang. He was a 13-year-old kid. He was like 6 foot and 140 kilos then. And he stayed with us all the way until he got a scholarship in the States for gridiron and moved over there.
Yeah, wow.
He's back in town in a month or two. His dad just messaged me the other day, but like same thing. Like I've got a photo of him a month or two after he started, and then a photo of me and him when he headed off. Maybe I should post that as well. So it's incredible watching these kids grow up and having such a huge positive influence on their life that you just don't realize when you're doing it. You're just training and hanging out, and you don't realize how valuable that is to a kid in their formative years like that. It's pretty incredible. It's very heartwarming, and it's part of what, no matter how, like I think back then running the gym sucked, you know, I sucked at it. The gym sucked. Like it was a real labor of love, and people like that just made it like, no matter how hard this gets, I'm going to make it work because of the role that we play in these people's lives.
100%. And sometimes, because we do this for a job, sometimes we're doing, 5-6 sessions in a row, or it's 5 days in a row kind of thing. We forget how special that hour is to the client.
Yeah,
because it's so routine for us.
for sure.
Tombras, do you want to give us your gratitudes?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my biggest gratitude is just the team of amazing people that I have around me. Like I get comments all the time about Zero, and a lot of the times they're directed at me. I'll post something about business or whatever, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're doing so well." It's like, I'm not. I'm part of a team that's doing really well, and people don't understand that without us, without you three here, without Nick and Daniel and Lucy and Rochelle and Lisa and Jamie and Mareka and Wick and Khan and Becca and Dean and Takali and everyone, that this doesn't happen. Like this doesn't exist. It's not Thomas. It's not a Thomas show. It's the Zero show, and the Zero show is made up of an amazing team of amazing people. And it is crazy to wake up and be surrounded by such a cool team of people. Like it makes again, like I was saying before, it's not always easy doing this shit. It makes it so much easier. It makes it worth doing. It makes every hard thing seem not hard at all. That's
a beautiful gratitude, Tombras, and we're all super grateful for you.
I'm also my other big gratitude. I think about this a lot, and it's kind of, I don't know how silly it is or whatever, but I get up and I walk Buddy for an hour and a half every morning, and I'm so grateful that I can do that. You know,
Yeah.
I can wait, and not just in the sense that I can have the time to do that, but the weather here. Like, I think of all the friends I have around the world that can't just get up and take their dog for a walk, or are so limited by how shit the weather is. Like, I can wear shorts and t-shirt all the time. It's pretty cool. Okay, yeah. Anyway,
That's an awesome gratitude. Like, there's people in fucking war zones, and you know they don't have the opportunity to do that. So that's cool.
Can't walk down the street safely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CJ, you got some gratitudes for us, brother?
Yeah. I'm very grateful for the life we get to live here in terms of the restrictions with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
oh man, for sure.
I just think about, I was just driving the other day, I was just thinking, like, life is very normal now here. Like, we don't have to, like, I'm so grateful that I don't have to wear a mask. I got a reminder of that when we went to Pro Raw and had to wear it on the plane and, you know, in the airport. And I forgot how horrible it is wearing one.
Man, I still have to wear it everywhere in South Africa.
Yeah.
They're
there you go.
still in those sort of phases, yeah.
Yeah. When I still see, things on TV with people wearing masks, you know, in place where, you have to. Yeah, I'm just so grateful that I can breathe. Because I remember how horrible it was, and not being able to go eat out at places, and now we can travel interstate, and life's very normal. Like, we complain about not traveling internationally, but besides that, everything's very normal for us now. And it wasn't like that even for the rest of the country. Like, we got very, very blessed here in Queensland. And I'm so glad. Yeah, we almost forget what life was like in 2020, what the world was like, and, you know, when everything hit the fan, and the way things are now, I'm so grateful that, especially with our work and being able to go to a gym and all that. Like, I remember when I couldn't train. It was the worst. That, and I'm very grateful for the high caliber of people that I have around me. I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they was, you know, kind of talking about how they struggle to find people that they could trust. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know, you can't just trust anyone. You got to find quality people that you can trust. And I have that in, like, that in abundance. You know what I mean? And this person was like in a different kind of world to me, and I couldn't really say, oh, you should meet my friend this. Like, it just wasn't, we were in different kind of worlds. So that to me is like, I walked away, I was like, I can't imagine what it'd be like if I didn't have an abundance of friends. Or when I say abundance, I don't mean heaps, but like a good amount of people that I could trust and lean on and whatnot. Like, if I didn't have that and was struggling to find someone to have a real friend, like, gosh, I don't know what I'd be like. I'd be pretty unstable, you know what I mean? So I'm very grateful, and they just happen to be there in my life, you know? So I think about what life would be like without those things, and I'm very grateful I have them.
That's beautiful, brother. Good dog.
Amazing.
What are you grateful for?
This is going to be a very obvious one, but I'm grateful for Buddy. It's not every job you can come in and chill out and pat a dog all day, and I'm just happy for his company. He's with me like twice a week, and he always sits downstairs with me on the chair, like at the desk, and always sits with me here during the podcast, and I just love his company. He's just the best boy.
That's an awesome.
I love him.
Animals.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
Yes.
I hope one day that everyone who follows Zero gets to meet Buddy.
We need to do some Buddy merchandise, please.
Yeah,
Can we make
people
some Buddy Zero shirts? There's been people requesting
Yeah,
them.
there actually has been.
Yeah.
He's literally the best behaved dog
He
I've ever met in my
is.
life.
Yeah.
Like, there's no denying it.
You don't have to worry about him like running away. He's just always chilling somewhere.
He's just very food driven.
Yeah, and if he wants anything, he'll just bark at you. Hey, puppy. So yeah, Buddy merchandise, please.
He
Buddy
only
shirts.
barks at suckers.
Yeah. Bridget, you feed him. Who else feeds him in here?
If he wants to go for a walk or he has to go to the bathroom, he'll bark at me.
Meg
He's
feeds
good
him.
like
He
that.
barks at Meg. All right.
Shush, we don't feed him. What are you talking about?
Oh, hey, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense. That's why he gets home every night and doesn't touch his dinner.
Hey, no, but on a serious note, that was awesome. That was nice. addition to the podcast, practicing your gratitudes.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to put it in there, but I gave it some thought, and I'm like, yeah, I think this would be a good topic. James, what do you think of this? James wasn't on board, so took it to the full team. They also weren't on board, but I pushed for it, and I'm glad I did. So.
Thanks, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice change from the grievance of the week.
Yeah, we've flipped
Yeah.
it. We've really flipped it.
Turning it positive.
All right. So once again, we've got Nationals coming up this weekend. It's Apl Nationals. This will be the first Apl Nationals that we've had full, well, not we, but Daniel,
Yeah.
Bridget, yourself as the advisor, we've had full control over, which is going to be fucking awesome. There's been a lot of effort that's gone into it. Like there's 180 lifters. It's going to be at
230 lifters.
230, my apologies. 230 lifters. It's going to be at the Novotel Hotel in Surfers Paradise. The seating's going to be in auditorium, so it's going to be a proper spectacle. This is like a proper event, which is fucking awesome. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on Nationals. If anyone's got anything they want to talk about, any athletes they're excited to look at, to watch, to see how they perform. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm excited for all the Zero lifters, not just the lifters that I work with directly, but everyone's been having great preps coming into it. There's a couple of lifters that I do work with directly that are going for big things. So Lydia Hankey, she is going for a 600 kilo total, which will be massive for her. She did have her sights set on the all-time Australian deadlift record, but it got nudged up quite a bit, and it might be just out of reach now. However, she's going to go hard and go for that 600 total, which will be amazing to see. Lydia, since working with Zero, has come a long way. She's lost 30 kilos of body weight. She's added a tremendous amount to her total. She has done so with some physical limitations as well. Her knees don't work. Her knees are not normal knees, and so. She's faced a lot of mental battles that come with that, and she's done amazing to get on top. And this has been the cruisiest prep that she's had, both in terms of making weight and everything going smoothly and the body holding up. So I'm really excited for her. I am extremely excited also for Tom Hardy.
He's a weapon.
Tom Hardy, I mean, like, if you don't know Tom Hardy, you don't follow Tom Hardy, you should. He's, I would say he is probably got one of the brightest futures in powerlifting of anyone that I know. Like this kid works harder than anyone I know, and basically wants it more than anyone, and not in a like cheesy I want it, but like lives and breathes, actually wants this thing, and has demonstrated his ability to just grind and work for it consistently for many, many, many years. Like, we started working together in 2000 and whatever, I don't even know now, 16, maybe 15. He squatted 220. Now he squats 360, probably even more at the competition. As a 100 kilo kid, like, he's 24 years old, maybe 25. Remember.
He's definitely the most dedicated and committed powerlifter.
And he's just a good kid,
man.
Like,
I was just about to
so
say that
nice.
he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. He's the guy you want around the gym.
Yeah.
I love when he's here. Like, when people meet him, they're like, that guy's so nice. And then they watch him lift and like, that guy's the fucking strongest guy I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. And he just wants it. Like, he just wants to be better. Not a shred of arrogance on the kid. Like, he's
Not one bit.
And he's a kid that should be arrogant. Like,
Yeah.
that's how strong he is. So all the best to Tommy. And of course, Sue, who I've mentioned before as well, has had an amazing prep. She's doing really well. Can't wait to see what she puts up. Meg has been working really hard, and she's had a really messed up hip and shoulder the entire prep, and has just been grinding through. So I dare say she's probably not going to be stoked with the numbers she hits on squats and bench press, but to have even made it to the competition in the first place and push through the pain that she was getting is a feat in itself. And I mean, I could list off every zero lifter. Every zero lifter has just been working so hard. So
Meg stayed so positive. I didn't even know she was injured because of how positive she is.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where she like couldn't reach up to a top shelf to get something off the shelf because her shoulder was that messed up. So she's done not only well to conceal it, but well to just push through and work really hard. And
that's awesome. Another very pleasant person to have around the gym.
Yeah,
another positive energy that you want to be around.
Sandy too. Sandy got really sick for the last 3 weeks.
She did, yeah.
Her whole peak has been basically sickness, and she's just kind of come back to life. So she's coming in now to try and do the best that she can, and I'm confident that she'll still PB.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's always so positive about it too. I didn't know she was sick.
Really sick, yeah. What
Well,
about you guys? Who are you excited for? I know you got
I'm
Ryan
excited
coming
for
in.
Paris.
Paris,
I've
yeah,
got
she
her on
squatted
the Sunday.
100.
She squatted 100 for the first
Easy.
time. Yeah, it was so easy, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Paris is another one that's been with us since age 12 or 13.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
she now, 17?
She's
Yep.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she competed at Queensland States, 3 months ago? And she failed, I think, her 87.5 kilo squat.
Yeah.
And now she's squatting 100 with ease. It's insane. Her prep has been amazing.
Yeah, that was her
Yeah.
first comp back after a long hiatus.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see her back fully on the horse and training independently.
Yeah. And she
Yeah.
plays footy on the weekend as well. And she's got school. She's in her final year of school and she still comes in here and trains so hard. She's
Yeah.
incredible.
Fun bit
Yeah.
of Zero trivia. Her dad built our desk. So there you go.
Really? There you go.
Big Mick.
Yeah,
He's a
Big Mick.
legend. Yeah, I've got a few people competing over the weekend, which is going to be awesome. I don't want to miss anyone out, but I got Ryan, Lem, Alexis, Amy, Jimmy Barnes, Jordan Castles, David Wilcock. Is there
Heaps.
more?
You know who we're finally going to get to meet? James Godfrey Webster.
Is he competing?
He's competing on Friday. Yeah.
That's sick. He's super strong
He's
too.
super strong.
That's exciting.
James has been with Zero for a long time. He's not a social media guy, so you wouldn't have ever seen his videos shared. Or I shared a video once of his squat transformation. If you ever go through my feed and see it, he was the guy with the extremely rounded back that now squats pretty good. But yeah, he got it. He got pretty injured. He tore his lat a little while ago, so he had a rocky prep. But did states. Now he's flying up and doing nationals, and yeah, it's cool to meet people who you've known and maybe spoken to on the phone once or twice for like 4 years, and then you finally get to meet them.
Wait, you've never met him either?
I've never met James in real life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've coached him for like 4 years. I've never met him.
That's wild.
That's crazy because
4 years.
I find this weird because when you meet them, it's like it feels like you've known them forever.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's not an awkward experience or anything.
Yeah, I've spoken to him on the phone twice. One time he broke his hand because someone was trying to steal a car, or a bunch of guys were trying to steal a car, and he fought them off.
What a guy.
What a guy. I can't remember the second time. Something similar.
That's sick. No, that'll be cool. He's competing in the 125s, 110s.
125s, yeah.
125s.
He's a light 125. I think he's
Yeah.
112.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but he's looking to go somewhere in the mid 200s for a squat with no reps. Mid 100s bench, and he really wants a 300 deadlift. So
Yeah, mad.
hopefully the environment, the atmosphere brings him to life, and he nails that on the day.
That's sick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
CJ, who are you looking forward to seeing?
Non-specific. It's a huge weekend, like 3 days. I'm just keen to see, I guess, be surprised and see who, people that I've never met or seen, travel from around, and I guess just find more people to follow on Instagram. Really. That's what Pro Roll was like for me. I'm keen to just see the talent that comes.
It's a good political response.
Yes.
I'm just exciting this will be the first time I'm like fully blown in my coaching bag the whole weekend. Like this is the most lifters I've had at a comp.
Yeah, when you were listing them off, I didn't realize there was that many doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure I've.
There's more too. I'm sure
Yeah,
there's more.
I'm sorry if
Yeah.
I've left you off the list, but I'm pretty sure there are a few more because when I worked it out at one stage, I thought there was 10 or 11.
Are all of them competing in raps?
I
I know,
RIP my
that's
forearms.
what. As soon as as soon as you said all those names, I was like, I feel so sorry for.
Nah, now that I'm not low bar squatting, like I really enjoy wrapping knees again.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Cathy Grant's another one. Cathy Grant's been with Zero for a very long time. And similar to Lydia, she's lost a tremendous amount of weight in the last 2 years and maintained or at least gained a little bit of strength on all her lifts. So she's gone for some PBs as well. And she's a trooper. She works really hard.
That's awesome.
Works really hard despite, whatever's going on in her life. And she's had some issues with trap and shoulder problems through this prep, and she's still hitting good benches and squatting PBs, and her deadlift's looking really strong. So looking forward to seeing what Cathy does over the weekend too.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Well, on that note, we're gonna kick off the topic now. So the topic for today's podcast is setting yourself up for a successful meet. How do we do that? Tom Brass, you've had the most experience here. How many competitions have you done, by the way?
Like, how many have I competed in?
Yeah.
I don't actually know.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It would be. This is the weird thing. I've gone to my open powerlifting to try and look it up, but I get the feeling that a lot of comps in the early days, people were writing my name down as Tom.
Yeah.
And I don't pop up, or those records just got wiped off of websites or whatever. Or when PA changed their weight classes, all this sort of stuff. Like, there's only one of my PA comps listed, and I did several of them. There's only a few of my early GPC comps listed, and I did basically every comp that popped up. So I don't know. So,
You've still got a pretty extensive list when you type in Thomas Lilley. It's still bigger than majority of the people I know, which is crazy.
I've done a lot, regardless. But more than that, I've taken hundreds, if not more than 1,000 lifters to competitions successfully. So, yeah, I've got a little bit of experience in getting a successful meet.
Seasoned in it. All right. Well, let's start by what are the fundamentals to setting yourself up for a successful meet? What are things we need to tick off? What are things we need to make sure we're doing if we want to have a good meet?
Are we so much of having a good meet is just the preparation going into it?
Yep.
One thing I want to say, and I want to unpack this with Rochelle when we do a nutrition one eventually. Can you tee one up with her?
Yes, sir.
We should do it tomorrow when she's here, but whatever. Is people tend to do weight classes and nutrition backwards when it comes to competition. So they're like, okay, well, I'm 16 weeks out, the competition's coming up. Oh shit, I better tighten up my nutrition because I've got to make sure I make weight. And then they start eating less to try and cut weight a little bit to get into their weight class and then get close to the peak. They're like, fuck, I got to eat a little bit less, cut more in the peak, do a crazy water cut, make weight. It should be the opposite. It should be like you eat into your peak, you relax, you do the comp, then you're like, fuck, now I need to tighten things up, make sure I'm sitting at a weight that I can then eat in a surplus or at maintenance at, and then next time I peak, like if you set the cycle to be the other way around from what most people do it, your performance just goes through the roof. You know, and the proof is in the pudding. I was saying just before, you know, Lydia's had the smoothest prep so far. A big part of it is because every prep we've done to this point has been trying to lose weight at the same time, or at least transferring quickly between, okay, we've been in deficit to lose weight, now we're getting into comp mode, let's cut the deficit. This time around, we were at comp weight or within striking range of comp weight 6 months out.
That's awesome.
So we've been able to eat significantly all the way through the most foundational training, and it's just made everything so much better.
Wow.
And people don't realize how much of an impact on performance doing it the opposite has in a negative way, like eating less coming into a comp. But if you do it every single comp, you just don't know because it just becomes the average, the standard. So preparation in all senses, you know, programming, peaking, but especially the nutrition and the making weight aspect is huge. And I think it's something that is not talked about enough and something that's done really poorly consistently.
Yeah, that's awesome. And on monitoring nutrition, Bridget, your last meet you had was December last year.
Yeah, that was the Christmas Cup.
You probably had the perfect meet. You went 9 for 9. You PB'd everything. And you mentioned one of the things you did was you monitored your nutrition the entire time.
Everything. Made sure to get all my macros right and made a huge difference.
And now when we talk about training, that's one thing you always say. You're like, I need to start monitoring my nutrition a little bit better, tracking what I'm doing food-wise, you know, because like you said, Thomas, we want to eat to perform. We want to fuel our performance. And you can't really, you know, you can't get stronger in a caloric deficit. You can, but you can't. You know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not ideal. So
it's not ideal.
Yeah, so like what you said, Thomas.
CJ's like, you guys have to make weight? Losers?
Wow. Like, I know I've spoken about this a million times. I'm just going to give you another example of it. Really fucking poor planning. Like, piss poor planning leads to poor performance. Was my last meet in 2019. You know, I did the fucking water cut of death. I didn't plan anything. I was fixed on this weight class. But what did I do to, you know, what steps did I take to compete in that weight class? Nothing.
Lied to your coach.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you lie to Thomas about your weight?
Yeah, I did nothing to monitor my nutrition to maximize my performance. So therefore, I had a shitty performance. I started eating good 7 days out from comp. I don't think that's ideal.
No, that's perfect. You know what Chad Wesley Smith used to call the super heavyweights?
What?
He'd say it's the stress-free weight class, except for on your heart and your knees.
That's so good.
No weight classes in the jungle.
All right, so monitoring nutrition, that's a big one we can tick off, setting yourself up for a successful meet.
Absolutely.
The next one I want to talk about is monitoring your training. So it's a little bit difficult this year with people competing a lot because we've got Worlds at the end of the year. So the IPL drug-free Worlds. We got Nationals, APL Nationals. And before this, we had States.
Oh.
So monitoring your training and, what do you reckon, Thomas, with the short turnaround between comps? What
Short turnaround peaks are always a nightmare.
Yeah.
They don't work. Like the illusion people have created over the years is that a prep is 12 weeks or a peak is 12 weeks. I don't even know where the number 12 came from. I think it was stolen from bodybuilding because people used to start dieting hard like 12 weeks out. You don't get bigger or stronger in 12 weeks. Like I always find it really ridiculous when people are like, we're going to monitor, the hypertrophy over this block and the strength gains over this block, and then we can pivot and make changes. And it's 4 weeks. How much bigger and stronger are you going to get in 4 weeks? It doesn't do jack shit. So 12 week blocks, it doesn't, you don't get that much stronger. So if you do States and then 13 weeks later you got Nationals, the most you can hope for is to clean up your performance, maybe add a tiny bit of strength in that time, but it's not going to be significant, especially the more experienced you are. And so this just comes down to like macro planning.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good powerlifting coach or a good powerlifting point of view would be, you don't look at when is the next comp, let's plan for that. You look at your year and you say, what comp is the most important? What comp do I peak hardest for? And then the other ones, they're just stepping stones along the way. And you may peak for them, but you peak very soft, like very short period of time, very quick turnaround between training and peaking rather than a long drawn out, like linear climb into the competition is probably going to set you up to make more progressive improvements over time. It's been really hard this year, especially with the demographic. So like if you're relatively new to lifting and you're trying to do States, Nationals, Worlds, you kind of have to go as hard as you can to hit the qualifying total. So I get that. And the younger and less experienced you are, the easier that is to get away with. But eventually you can't do that.
Yeah, like essentially the more time you spend expressing your strength, like the less time you spend building your strength.
For sure.
So that's why we need to spend longer periods in those, the development phases or the whatever you want to call them. Everyone's got a different name for them.
For sure. It's easy to break it down. Like if you let me do this real quick, like look at a year, 52 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. Cut out 2 weeks for Christmas and other going away, whatever. You got 50 weeks. Call a block 4 weeks and deload, call it 5 weeks. You got 10 blocks. If a block of peaking, you do not get bigger and stronger. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. And a block of conditioning, you do not get bigger and stronger. That's a fact. So if you work less than 65%, more than sort of 90%, you're not getting bigger or stronger. If you do 3 comps per year and you peak for all of them, there's 15 weeks gone. If you do a conditioning block after each peak, there's half the year gone straight away, or more than half the year gone straight away. Let's say you just do 1 conditioning block, that's still 20 weeks gone. That's almost half a year gone. And so when you start to look at it like that, we don't actually have that much time in a year when it comes to getting bigger and stronger. And so it's bear in mind, my bias is I work with very experienced people who need to maximize absolutely the time they spend getting better. When you're a beginner, you can get away with it a little bit more. But even if you are a beginner, set yourself up like you're going to be an experienced person and you'll get better results anyway. But yeah, what I'm trying to say here is exactly, I'm just echoing what James said. The more time you spend peaking, the less time you spend getting stronger.
I'm really impressed by your quick maths as well.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's my first rodeo, baby.
But it also just made me want to talk about, I forgot to mention this before with the nutrition, with the manager monitoring your nutrition. Heading into comp, don't start eating random shit you've never eaten before on comp day. That's going to, that can be a nightmare for you. I actually spoke to Amy Scales this morning. I had a video call with her, who's one of my clients competing this weekend. She mentioned that at one of her comps, one of her coaches gave her some sodium tablets on the day.
Nice.
Which she's never had before.
Yeah.
And she just started vomiting everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah. So like, little things like that. Eat foods that aren't too foreign. Eat things that you've eaten before. Like the main 2 things you need on game day are carbohydrates and sodium. So you want to be, you want to be replenished. You want to be hydrated.
For sure.
They're the 2 big rocks you need to turn over. And then again, just don't eat like a dickhead.
And try not to overdose on caffeine. I did that at my first comp.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even talk to anyone by the end of the day. I just had to leave.
Yeah. Like, CJ, you said you did the same thing at your comp. You're a little bit rattled from too much caffeine.
Yeah, I took a scoop of pre before squats, and then I benched, and then I took another scoop before deads. And it just made me really nervous.
Yeah.
Like I was already nervous, but it made me super
Yeah,
nervous.
I had like 8 shots of coffee.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Comp day, you want less caffeine than you would normally have because you've got so much adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it just turns you. If you don't know what to do with that high heart rate and that like lump in your throat, it just turns you into an anxious mess.
Mm-hmm.
Can't focus.
Because I remember, I think you might have told me this in 2019. You said Scott Wasson likes to eat rice, soy sauce, and bacon.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I did
Sounds
that.
delicious.
I was like,
Yeah,
what am I?
sounds so good.
I was like, what am I doing? I've never done this before. And I just started, picking things that I've seen other people do on the internet, what they do on comp day. I remember there was like a tomato juice, which was really high in sodium. So I bought that as well.
Oh, it's so high in acid. You'd just be feeling terrible.
It was
burping all day.
Oh, it was the worst thing ever. And I was so sick the day before that comp because I was like, yes, sweet. As soon as I weigh in, get this tomato juice, gonna guzzle this tomato juice. And I was like,
Oh,
I've never drunk tomato juice before. And it just left me feeling so sick.
it's my plane drink. It's the drink
Really?
I drink on international flights.
Yeah?
Yeah, because as a kid, when we used to come to Australia, I'd always ask for a spicy tomato juice.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you like the taste of it? Or
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Do you know when I'm drinking tomato juice, it kind of feels like a soupy texture.
Yeah,
Have you never had Bloody Marys before?
Nah.
Really?
Nah.
Wow.
it's just spicy tomato juice with vodka.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100% right. And a big mistake people make with 24-hour weigh-ins is like they make weight and they're like, oh, yeah, party time. No. Party time's after the comp. So if you're going to smash like burgers, pizzas, brownies, donuts, all that stuff, save it for after the comp. Like it's really going to hamper your refeeding efforts because it'll limit the amount of calories, sodium, water that you can get in. You want to eat good food that you're used to, food that will fuel your performance. And then after the comp, go ham.
Yeah, nice. Because yeah, sweet. So monitoring nutrition, tick. Monitoring your training, tick. Creating a routine for yourself in your preparation. And what makes a good routine?
One that takes less than 1 minute, James.
Yeah, okay. So I guess creating a routine for yourself in your prep is,
Are you talking about like routine in terms of setting up?
on game day?
I mean, like in terms of like how long it takes you to set up under the bar, wrap your knees, get ready, that kind of thing.
Nah, but we can actually, let's touch on that now.
Because that's what I hear when you say routine. Like I think of someone like Stenzel. Stenzel is extremely slow between getting his knees wrapped and getting under the bar because his setup takes a long time. So for most lifters, I time it so I'm picking you up off the seat when they say platform's ready or bar is loaded. Whereas for him, I need to do it a lifter or two early because he takes a long time for all the stuff that happens in between that. And so if you do have an extended routine, nothing wrong with that. Just make sure it still conforms to the rules of the comp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I was meaning like, leading up to comp preparation on a daily basis in terms of training, how to get the most out of your training sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure you're getting to sleep at the right time. So making sure you've got a solid sleep routine. Not everyone has the luxury to, allocate time to having a sleep routine, but making sure you're having the right foods every single day. Making sure, you're doing little things in the day to set yourself up for a good training session. Lucky for us, we work in a gym, so we've got a pretty good, we can stop and eat. We can drink. We can go toilet whenever. We don't have a very physically demanding job.
Wait, you guys go to the toilet whenever you want? Hang on. We need some reform in here.
We'll have to start clocking in and clocking out.
I remember,
I'm putting cameras in there.
I remember one of my old workmates in New Zealand. He used to always go for a shit after lunch, and we used to always go, "Why do you go for a shit on after lunch?" And he's like, "I'm not shitting on my time." I was like, "Fuck, that's good," but I wouldn't do that, Thomas.
No, of course not.
So creating a routine for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think that should be the case regardless, to maximize your training. But especially in those last few days before the competition where things are a little bit more relaxed and there is no training, sticking to that routine.
Yeah.
Sure. Like it's especially, people, let's say you're competing on a Saturday, people like to take Friday off work to chill out. Don't change things on that day. Stick to your routine then as well. Try and keep it as normal as possible. I don't know. You guys can tell me. Do you agree with this? There's a lot of people that'll say like, if you compete at 8 a.m. in the morning, but you normally train at 4 p.m.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Do your training sessions at 8 a.m. in the morning for a while? I think that's bullshit.
I'm with you here, and I've always used my example. It's just an example. I'd always use rugby players.
Yeah.
Their game could be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So when I see someone saying, "Yeah, I'm going to bench it at 4 p.m. because that's when I'm competing," and it's like, bro, like
makes no difference.
Yeah.
I mean, if it makes a difference placebo-wise, that's a real difference. But we can tell you absolutely from a performance physiological perspective, no difference whatsoever.
yeah, like could you imagine being a rugby player playing on the Gold Coast where it's fucking humid and hot, and then you're flying to South Africa where it's really hot too, but the altitude's through the roof. Like you can't plan for that. What are you meant to do? Like do your last few training sessions in a high altitude room?
No, wear a mask.
Yeah. Yeah, you can wear an altitude mask if you want, but yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm thinking that's something you really can't control. So
Adapt, baby. Because then how far do you go? Do you play the comp music? Do you get a crowd of people? Do you get someone walking in front of you? Do you get side refs, head refs? Do you get the platform set up like it's like, get out of here.
yeah,
I have a question because I see a lot of people doing this. Is it necessary to wear your comp suit, like your soft suit, in the days leading up to comp?
I think that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it does definitely feel a little bit foreign. And I think the mindset of like, I'm getting ready for a comp, I think mindset around like, because I say this the same about equipment. People are like, oh, you don't need to buy the new Inza sleeves. I'm like, if you buy those sleeves and it makes you feel like a lifter, you'll feel better. Like, I think I sucked at BMX when I bought like a $3,000 bike, and it made me so good so fast because I felt like I was good because I had a good bike. I play my piano so much more than when I had that thing at home because it's a better instrument.
No, I agree with that.
So yeah, I don't have a problem with people wearing their comp gear. I think it looks a little bit funny if you're in a commercial gym.
Yeah,
but in here, you'd be surprised how many people just train exclusively in them.
Yeah,
All the time, yeah. Yep.
Someone walked into the gym wearing a soft suit the other day. So we saw them in the car park. They walked straight in wearing the soft suit, and I remember Jimmy Barnes goes to me, "Fuck, he must have been wearing that all day." Like that's brave from just to walk into the gym wearing a soft suit because people usually get in the gym and then put the soft suit on. He walks into the gym and I go, "Brother, you wear that to work?" And he goes, "Yeah, I've been at uni all day." I was like, "Oh."
Been wearing it under his
Yeah,
clothes.
he did.
So he wore the soft suit to uni all day.
Wait, who was this?
The guy. I forgot his name now.
Is it Michael?
It's not. It's my client Aaron's good mate.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
He's got quite a big chest, so he's rocking the A7 singlet to uni.
My man.
He said he did have a lab coat on for part of the day, but I'm like, wait, so you've just worn that all day? He goes, yeah. My coach said I should get used to it. I'm like, that's sick. Because I would never do that. I couldn't do that.
I can barely wear a soft suit at a comp.
But you look good in a soft suit. Big shoulders, big arms, big pecs.
No. They're the worst.
Bridget, you're one of the people. You're another person that looks good in a soft suit.
No.
You're very jacked.
You definitely pull them off.
There's some photos. Shout out Neil Jose Photography. He's a great photographer, but some of those photos are too good quality from my last comp, where they're not the most flattering.
No.
I got the black soft suit on. I'm standing a little bit funny. They're not great.
Yeah, I turned into Dr. Robotnik when I'm wearing one. It's like Eggman.
All right. So speaking about routines, like we're talking about what makes a good routine. Do you guys think having a routine can also be a detriment?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because it stops that adaptability.
Yeah.
If you have some, especially with warm-up weights, like let's say you have to do perfect warm-up weights. I have to do 137.5. Maybe you don't have time to change your place and you just got to do the 140 that's on there. And ultimately it doesn't matter anyway. But like you routine is fantastic. I think it's good for learning to switch on and everything, but you have to be willing to accept the fact that it might not go to plan on comp day. Like you're in a different environment. Absolutely, yeah.
And try not to get used to training to certain songs as well, like having hype songs, because you're not guaranteed to have that on the day either.
For sure.
Just trying to eliminate as many external factors that you need for to stick to that routine, I guess.
And for all meet directors listening out there, don't do songs for the lifters. Man, it's the worst at comps. Because then the song changes every lifter. Like every minute the song changes. It's really painful
And
to...
there's no vibe.
And like especially a lot of the times they'll do like one song per lifter. So you'll just get the same song, 1 minute of one song like 9 times a day.
Yeah.
With each lift is a 10. Anyway, that's just my gripe.
Yeah.
I mean, my grievance of the week.
That's good. Thomas, you're someone that you're a fan of, Alex Hormozy. I heard him say, routine can make you fragile and weak. And I can agree to that to some extent because there's been times where I've lately with my new routines, it sounds so stupid, but I hadn't had my ashwagandha or my 4 fish oil tablets with a multivitamin in the morning. I'm like, fuck, I fucked up. But it's like, did I really fuck up? No, I didn't really fuck up. Like, I just forgot to take them, and it shouldn't play on me like that. It's just
Well, it learns to teach you, or it teaches you to attach your feeling to your routine rather than how you actually feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same. Like I sleep with a CPAP. If I wake up and it says that I've only slept for 6.5 hours, I'm like, oh, I'm tired today.
Yeah.
Before I even feel tired, I'm like, I'm gonna have a tired day.
Yeah.
And like there's some element of truth to it for sure, but you just have to adapt to what's in front of you and learn to feel what you're feeling at any given moment. And it's the same with this comp stuff. For
Yeah.
sure.
Like, Thomas, you're a creature of habit. You're I'm assuming you just do routine without calling it a routine. Like, you have your crackers at 2 p.m. You come down for a Pepsi Max at this time.
Yes, I think they call that a disability, James.
No one calls it that.
But no, that's pretty good.
That's why no one can live with me. I have systems, and the systems are broken. I get very, very upset. We can make a whole podcast episode out of the systems around here that get broken that I lose my mind over inwardly.
Yeah?
Yes.
Give us one. What's one?
Yeah, I want to know.
No.
I remember I used to put the deadlift jacks in the monos because it looked clean and tidy. Thomas hated it with a passion.
In the monos.
Yeah, this is the old gym, like way back.
Right.
Yeah, and I used to think it just
Like
looked
under them.
Nah, like inside them, so you couldn't see the deadlift jacks.
Oh,
It was just like
okay.
part of my morning routine,
Yeah.
my cleaning routine. It just made me it look good,
Yeah.
but it was annoying. It was shit. It was stupid. Like, why are they there?
You're right.
But it just looked clean, and I used to fucking grind Thomas's gears along with a million other things I do. And then the last thing for setting yourself up for a successful meet, we talk about this all the time, and I assume we're going to keep bringing this up on every single podcast we do, is managing your expectations.
Yeah.
Like, why say I'm going to total 900 when I'm only capable of totaling fucking 300?
Are you calling me out right now?
Jeez.
Nah, but managing your expectations.
Yeah.
Being realistic.
It's exactly like what you were just talking about with routine in terms of you have to accept that we were talking about how you feel is how you feel. It's the same thing with strength. Like, we have strong days, we have not so strong days, and you're only as strong as you can be on the day, and our job on the day is to showcase whatever strength you have on that particular day. Like, the art of peaking is trying to make that as high as possible, for sure. But sometimes the numbers that you have in your head just don't match up to what you're capable of the day. And if you let that ego take control, you can put numbers on the board and then fail them when you could have just settled for something a little bit less and done really well. So absolutely, going into the competition with expectations is really important, but being able to pivot and adjust to how you're actually performing is the most important thing for putting up the biggest total. The game really shifts as well as you get more experience. Like, for CJ or Bridget, or even yourself, James, going into comps at the moment, a big part of what you're trying to achieve is hitting bigger numbers than before, like chasing PBs. When you get more experience, the number one goal might change. It might be like, I have to win the competition. And sometimes winning a competition means lifting less than what you can actually lift or than what you want to lift. And so you learn to shift your priorities and see the competition as a competition rather than just like a testing day. There's a big difference between a testing day and a competition.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, that went off on a tangent a bit. Absolutely managing your expectations and just understanding that everyone has good days and bad days. And what you lift on the day is not your identity. It's not how strong or weak you are. It's just what happened on the day.
Yeah, it is hard. It's a hard thing for people to accept just because, you work so hard for this one thing. You work tirelessly week in, week out. You monitor your nutrition. You've monitored your training. You've created routines for yourself. You've done self-affirmations or whatever for this one day, and all of a sudden on that day, things don't go according to plan. But I guess it never goes how you plan.
I failed 300 in competition 3 times before I got it.
Really?
Yeah, I failed at Nationals 2014, Pro Raw 6 2014, and then I went for it again at Worlds in 2015, and it was the first and only time I've ever been called on depth at a comp in my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was after that comp I was like, I actually have to get surgery because
Yeah.
now I physically can't hit depth because of the problems with my hips.
Yeah,
That's why I
shit.
got surgery after that comp.
Yeah, fuck. There's what about
So I didn't successfully squat 300 in competition until after surgery, even though I was strong enough to do it 3 years beforehand.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like just speaking about managing expectations and things like that and setting yourself up for a successful meet. Thomas, I'm not trying to chuck you under the bus here, but you've bombed out on one meet or two?
I've bombed 1, 2, 3 times.
3 times.
Yeah.
How do you bounce back from that? Have you got any advice for people that? Because I know some people get really fucking beat themselves up about bombing out on a meet.
Quit. Now, bombing sucks for sure. You know, like if you do bomb, ideally it's not because of a mistake that someone's made, but just because of bad luck. So like I think of Kurt bombing when I went over to South Africa. The attempt selection was totally fine. He just tore his hand to shred on his opening attempt and then couldn't open it for the next 2. So that wasn't anyone's fault. It was just unfortunate that it happened. Whereas the 3 times that I bombed were all either poor attempt selections or me being inexperienced and missing calls and stuff like that. So again, I mean, it just comes back to what we were just saying. You don't have perfect days all the time. And if you bomb, it just happened. Yeah, it sucks. You've been preparing for ages. The thing you always have to cling to, like this is the conversation I had with Kurt on the day straight away. Like he was pretty upset about it. And I'm like, man, did you come here to do this as your final comp? Was this the last comp you were going to do? He's like, no. I'm like, so what's the problem? Like, who cares? You're going to come back bigger and stronger next time, just like you were bigger and stronger this time. Is you're just going to make progress forward. And unless it is your very last comp, there's not too much to be upset about. It's just a lesson learned that you can then go away, work harder on what the issues are and get better.
And I don't think anyone remembers Kurt Keogh for Keogh. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Remembers Kurt Keogh for the guy that bombed out at that comp. Everyone knows Kurt Keogh for being the fucking monster and how strong he is.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like all of this stuff doesn't help when you've actually just bombed and you're sitting there and pretty upset about it. But rationally, you'll come around to it for sure.
No, that's cool. Well, that's does anyone have anything else to add to that?
Make sure to have fun.
Yeah,
The day's over
have
so
fun.
quickly.
You do powerlifting for fun. No one here gets paid for it.
Yeah, we do this because we love it. Just enjoy it as much as you can.
Yeah, is it fair to say it's a hobbyist sport?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If there's not like a way to make an actual profession out of winning the sport, it's a hobby sport for sure.
So like, yeah, we all walked into the sport because we enjoyed it. So yeah, do your best to continue to enjoy it and make sure it serves you if you want to keep powerlifting.
I think a big part of that is as well as remember there's other people around you trying to have fun too. Yeah, sure, it is your day, but it's also everyone else's day.
Yeah.
Respect your competitors, respect the people that have put their time and effort and energy into running the show, respect the other coaches in the room. Like there are some people that really try to, like they feel the day is actually just about them. And it is about them and it's about every other lifter. Like, respect the fact that there's more individuals in the room than just you.
1000%. All right. I've really enjoyed this podcast.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Zero Weakness podcast with myself, Tom Bro, Gidge, and CJ. Make sure you like, subscribe, you comment everywhere. I saw a couple comments from Tommy V on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's all over it.
He's a legend. Thank you for the kind words to myself and Gidge. Make sure you give us 5 stars on Spotify and Podbean. Make sure you share us around. Do your best to help us out and spread the good word of the Zero Weakness podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much for listening to the Zero podcast. If you want more information, head to our Instagram, Zero_weakness. Hit the link in the bio for all of our services and any information on upcoming workshops and events. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review so we can have a broader reach and answer more people's questions. Thank you once more.